Welcome to TheoTRADE. This is Don Kaufman. It's August 28th, 2024. Doing the TheoTRADE evening video here on a Wednesday afternoon, and it is all about Nvidia. I promise I'll cover some aspects outside of Nvidia, but right now, yeah, you have to tune in. Game on! I mean, look, Nvidia is the talk of the trading community right now. We're seeing about a $14 expected move. The Nvidia earnings announcement could come out literally at any point right now. S&Ps are already down 40 handles. And if you look at Nvidia, we're actually going to take you to a one-day, one-minute chart. Nothing out on it yet. Everybody just needs to calm down. You're going to see it reflected in the S&P futures, which again are down 40, 41 handles right now. NASDAQ's already down 250 handles. So Nvidia is going to rock this marketplace. And how do I know that? Take a look at the QQQ with me. So the Qs, I'll have to agree on this one. This is wild. You're not going to see this too often. There is, well, we just closed, and there's still $4.59 of expected move packed into this thing. Okay? I want you to think about that for a second. Markets are closed, but remember, the index options are open 15 minutes after the cash close. And right now, the NASDAQ, it still has $4, okay, and 59 cents of expectations packed into it, okay? And let me tell you something. I have seen some days where some markets can move, but as I said, it is just kind of like all about Nvidia. You know, somebody actually asked me earlier today, how do you know when Nvidia is going to come out with earnings? I said, well, it's got to be in that 15-minute kind of window. Because it's being priced in, and it's being priced in everywhere, like the SPY, just to give you how much of an impact. And when I say it's all about Nvidia, I mean, I hate to actually have to do a video like time and time and again. By the time you see this, Nvidia earnings are going to be out. But it's fascinating for those of you that have been in the markets for years to see an expected move of still $3 and change inside of the spiders. Again, inside of the spiders. This is the entire S&P because Nvidia's market cap, okay, is that significant. It's that substantial at this point in time. All right, so let's get down to some business over here. In terms of Nvidia, so there's a $14 expected move. As I said, the numbers are going to come out any second. I did, in fact, place a trade. I took a shot at a bearish butterfly, and I paid, next to nothing. Those butterflies are trading for I filled them for 47 cents and 46 cents respectively. So, and it's a $5 wide butterfly. It's crazy. So if Nvidia comes out and drops anywhere inside of the range of my fly, what's the range of my fly in here? Okay, is all the way from 107, okay, to 117. It's a $10 range. It's a $5 wide butterfly. The body of my butterfly sitting on 112. Look, I don't need Nvidia to drop immediately to 112. Okay, I'll just need it there by late Thursday, early Friday, and that thing would be a grand slam home run. Nevertheless, okay, Nvidia, when the news comes out, can have a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, bid up. All right, some sell side activity, but until it really settles in and the volatility crushes, my butterfly wouldn't be worth much of anything. So we wait in the wings over here for Nvidia's earnings to come out, and I'm a big advocate, a big proponent, if you will, of being all about expected move. Like, look, okay, the market expects a $14 move. It's a $125 stock. So, you're looking at over a 10% move on a market cap. And again, you just, if you will, it's a $3 trillion market cap. So, over a 10% move, that's $300 billion. And people have a tough time putting that in perspective. I have a tough time putting it in perspective. $300 billion, okay? It's completely nuts. You look at something like Caterpillar. Caterpillar's only a $168 billion company, and Costco. Okay, there you go. Costco's a $400 billion company. That's the magnitude that we're talking about with something like Nvidia. By the way, I'm actually surprised now. We're 6 minutes after the close, and Nvidia's earnings are not out. And the reason I'm surprised, as I kind of shoot this video, is inside of the QQQ, you still have this $4 now and 63-cent expected move. I mean, it's going to come down to like an 8-minute window of absolute sheer chaos. We all see stuff like Apple come out with earnings and, you know, Google, but it's not at this extreme. You're dealing with a $3 trillion market cap, okay, with 187 vol in it. I mean, again, over a 10% move, it's $300 billion of market cap. All right, so while we wait in the wings for Nvidia, let's actually break down a little bit of the overall marketplace. Of course, in this evening's video, that is, well, it's all about Nvidia, but the marketplace actually had some pretty extreme bouts of volatility today. Something I've been talking about extensively, and I talked about very extensively on the TheoTRADE weekend update. If you guys remember back to the weekend update, I was talking about echoes of volatility, okay? And we absolutely unequivocally are seeing that. If you start zooming in, okay, there are 1-minute bursts here that are, you know, 8 and 10 handles. That's 8 or 10 points on the S&Ps. We're not talking about NASDAQ here. We're talking about S&P futures. And that, people, should resonate with you. It should resonate with you because is this kind of volatility, if you will, in the S&Ps congruent with what you would think of as a 17, VIX? By the way, the VIX is also all over the place here in after hours. With a 17 VIX, that's not the kind of volatility that you would normally see, especially in what is very, very low volume, very, very light liquidity marketplace right now. We're barely doing but 1.2 million S&P contracts. It's light and fluffy out there, and you're seeing this constant, shock and a little bit of awe. Now we're rallying back up from these, but you have to be extraordinarily mindful, in trading sessions like this, and give yourself like a feel of where you are. And what I mean by that is, simply put, look at the SPX. And I use the SPX, and these are hand-drawn expected moves, right? So this is SPX expected move. And the expected move this week, is just north of about $84. And again, to give you a very detailed reminder, I can actually pull it up, specifically from the weekend update. But your expected move, we're just going to put it rough and dirty right here, is about $84. So this $84 expected move, you're expecting this $84 move higher or lower. In today's trading session, you got to realize, like, you started the day with absolutely nothing. We sold off big and actually rallied back up. As I talk about, this, if you will, like echoes of volatility, it's, you see, most people are looking at this marketplace, and the assumption is, look, it's complete like V, we rallied right back up. And the reason I talk about the echoes of volatility is to give you like a stark warning. Like, I'm not disputing that there's upside capacity. And I was talking about this in the weekend. I'm not disputing there's upside capacity. There is upside capacity, but the downside risks, are huge. What you have right now is this perfect kind of Goldilocks scenario where we're expecting interest rates to get cut. Great, cool. Interest rates are going to get cut. Got it. They're a quarter point here. Historically speaking, when interest rates are getting cutting now, when they're getting cut, or the Fed is cutting, it's usually indicative of an economic slowdown. We haven't even discussed that, but everything will be fine in the S&Ps right now, unless bad data comes out. And that's some of the issues that you're going to face. I mean, literally, we face that as I speak right now. Nvidia comes out and their estimates are not so rosy. That's enough to knock Goldilocks right off that little perch that it sits on right now. So there is a very, very wild risk reward scenario that's being presented to you, where for those of you that are bullish, I'm not disputing it. Like, again, Nvidia comes out, in the next couple of seconds, and we burst to the upside. There's no question about it. But downside risks, are huge. And I want you to view that risk reward, because that's what traders are really discussing. And with that being said, okay, that is something that is not going to dissipate anytime soon. And there's no hesitation when I say, well, it's not going to dissipate. Okay, why is that not going to dissipate anytime soon? Well, look, the bottom line, all right, is you have geopolitical risks that we're facing right now. Okay. And if you take a quick glance over at vol futures, and I'm not talking about looking specifically at vol futures, which are up today. Okay, I'm talking about look a little further out here at volatility futures. We're currently trading with the 21-day vol future. That's the SEP vol future. That's trading at 1665. Look a little further out in time, people. Okay, and what you're going to see is that volatility, and you can look at OC, NOV, DES. Okay, that volatility is in what we actually term backwardation. Like it constantly sees the risk coming. You're in October at an 1840. Okay, you drop off in a little bit of November, drop off a little bit further in December. That's backwardation. And that unto itself, okay, is a stark warning, okay, for this marketplace. Okay. By the way, as we talk over here about this, like still no Nvidia out. Right? They're holding this thing to the last possible second. Okay. And I say still no Nvidia out. Nothing happened on this front, which is okay. Like, look, okay, it's the one reality is earnings don't necessarily have to come out precisely when they say they are. But the craziest thing about this is in looking at the QQQ, we're up to a $4.70 expected move. And there's only like 2 minutes before, this option expires. Like literally, look, these things are trading for $2. It's like I wanted to sell these puts right now. I sell them for $2. Now, I normally don't spend this much time talking about one product, but you ever seen anything this wild before? Okay, this is an option in the QQQ. It expires today. Today is the 28th. This is not Nvidia. This is the Qs. It expires in mere seconds. Okay. And the expected move has actually gone higher, meaning that instead of these options decaying, the options have actually increased in value. So, I mean, some people might be able to get away with a lot here. Like if this thing doesn't release its earnings in the next 90 seconds, okay, you've got yourself a whole lot of capital over here. And I've seen some wild stuff. And by the way, nothing says that they have to necessarily release over here, but the at the money straddle in here, which is, I mean, literally, you could sell this thing right now, $4.77. Okay, I mean, this is an open market, $4.77, and this thing expires in less than 60 seconds. Okay, and still it refuses to crush down. So right now, well, it's all about Nvidia, but Nvidia refuses to release those earnings apparently until after. Okay, some wild stuff going on in this marketplace. Nevertheless, okay, in this evening's video, again, I intended to talk about some of the price action here thereafter, and I'll tell you what, we'll pause this and we'll come right back here in just a minute. So we are just seconds after Nvidia released earnings. Amazing, because QQQ went out with almost a $5 expected move. Right now, Nvidia though, like a total dud. Look at this thing in the after hours here. Well, expected move was $14. Actual move right now, negligible. You're up a very nominal amount. The S&Ps at this point having an impact, but again, nominally. There's going to be a lot to actually play out in terms of this order flow. This is one of those times where you're flipping a coin, heads it's going to explode, tails it's going to be down like $14. That coin just landed on its side. Nevertheless, a lot of fallout actually possible in the after hours, largely predicated on what this conference call is going to look like, but it's pretty shocking right now. So forget about numbers. Like people want to look at like earnings per share. Watch the order flow, people. Watch this order flow. Right now, maybe a little disappointed in the fact that, this catalyst is not moving markets, but it is far from over here. Look, overall, right? The overarching theme of this evening's video, okay? Yeah, it's all about Nvidia. And then it's going to be all about PCE data, which is coming out Friday morning, and economic data. Right now, though, to me, it's all about a return of some very, very sketchy volatility. These echoes of volatility being felt in this marketplace. Act accordingly. We discussed extensively here risk reward, and that is something you really need to think about in this marketplace. Upside potential unequivocally, downside risk absolutely phenomenal. Thanks everybody for joining us here at TheoTRADE. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.